Well, south of the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Andrew and me and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some fucking songs. Rank them songs, gonna rank songs. The longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than old King Kong. Meaner than the junkyard dog.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful as always.
back.
That was beautiful.
That was the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. Welcome back to Off Our Stones, episode 12. Guys, we are getting to the end of the section of our list where Brooklyn and I have our own individual songs that weren't on each other's lists. 2 episodes left before we get into the crossover section. But for those of you who don't know, this is Off Our Stones, the show where Brooklyn and I basically made up our own top 500 list compared to Rolling Stones. And Cody, People's Champ, going to help us pick which songs are the higher ranked, which songs should stay, which songs should go. Cody's got 7 vetoes left. 7 vetoes left.
So funny that you mentioned that, Andrew. I have a bold prediction tonight because it's crazy because the last episode I feel like we were all kind of in agreement that the songs in here were good. This week I think is a lot more polarizing, and yeah. I think there's going to be some blood. There's going to be a lot of blood tonight.
I am predicting at least minimum 1 veto. Maximum 2.
As Matthew McConaughey said in Wolf of Wall Street, those are rookie numbers.
Well, I mean, I only got 7 to use. And I got to make you guys. I got to make you angry in the top 100 at some point. We got to get that close, okay?
Cody has the option to veto anything up until number 50 on the list. Until
number 51 is screwed. It's so screwed.
Number 51 is I will always be there. So
nice.
But in the meantime, at the moment, whoever Cody picks the most songs in favor of will get to make a 20-song playlist for the opposite person to listen to for a week. It's the only thing that they can listen to, and they have to watch a movie of the winner's choosing.
I haven't even gotten to think of the playlist because I'm down by 4. I need to somehow.
Right. And we have 50 songs left, right?
We have 50 songs total.
Total songs, but yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Next week's episode is going to be a doozy, folks. So stay with us. All right, but let's get started with the songs that will be number.
I'm really curious what people picked because there are some that just artists have had before, but then the choice of song, I'm just maybe this is somebody else's choice. It's a weird one. I'm curious.
Oh, well, let's start off with a banger of a matchup, number 280 and 279, those being Clearest Blue by Churches versus Bury a Friend by Billie Eilish.
I'm really surprised somebody put the same person back at it yet again. So let's.
All right, I'm going to start us off this time. I got to see Churches in concert, and when this song happened, I have never felt an audience reverberate like they did during the drop of this song. This is one of the best drops in music history, in my opinion. It's got this really great electronica kind of swell to it. There's an opulence to it, and it builds and it crescendos, and then that drop happens, and it is amazing. It washes over you, and it is just such an experience. The song alone would make the list just for that drop, but Lauren Mayberry's vocals on this is just so ethereal and beautiful that it really does convey the lyrics of the song extremely well.
So Bury a Friend by Billie Eilish is, again, another branch on the tree of horror pop that she had with I believe the album called Where Do We Go? This is very subtle in the uses of the keys and the harmonies. I'm a big fan of the female vocalist that adds in a lower harmony. I think it just adds in as much depth as possible. So I think that like that chorus does a really good job. And then like when you get to re-listen to the song, how the harmonies move, and I think it's a very original composition. I don't really hear any like influence that doesn't like scream like you would other pop songs of this nature. When you get to the bridge, she's getting this like high pitched whisper, and it's like for the debt I owe, I gotta sell my soul because I can't say no. And I hit then my favorite line. Then my limbs all froze and my eyes won't close, and I can't say no. It's just yeah. I think she rejuvenated a genre, and this is the one. Whereas with Clear as Blue by Chvrches, I don't think I have to say much about this, knowing who has to decide the song. But I also can't speak to the song like hearing it live, because I imagine that's an entirely different experience, and I would love to experience that with you. Unfortunately, just listening to the studio version, I think it's fine. 68 would be high for my taste. But again, seeing it live, I think changes it. And I would hope I get to experience that someday.
Brooklyn, we need to experience that together. I would like you.
Okay.
Come back to Philly when they were back in Philly, and I will get your ticket.
You need to come here first.
Yeah, that's fair. I do at some point. I've got other transportation issues I have to worry about first. But with that being said, first of all, I think you're saying that there's a lack of inspiration from other artists on here. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think you can clearly hear the Nine Inch Nails influence on this, which is a little bit wild, but it's there. And I will say that while I do think that this is a great song from Billie Eilish, one of her better songs that she's made, I don't even think it's the best off of that album. I think When the Party's Over is the best song on that album, personally. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is just like I haven't heard like obviously like Nine Inch Nails has that influence, but I haven't heard like Carly Rae Jepsen, or like I haven't heard Taylor Swift go like this brooding, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's how I would define this.
Lorde, a little bit.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
But I just want to like reiterate one more thing about Clear as Blue before we go to Cody or have closing thoughts from Brooklyn. It's just a beautiful song about finding that hope again after being in such a tumultuous, awful relationship. And it just kind of like builds and builds until this emotional just like burst of energy. And it's just such a beautiful piece because of that. Any last thoughts from you, Brooklyn?
Now, let's go over Cody.
Bar, are you a club guy?
Not generally speaking, no.
Okay. I'm getting club guy vibes from you.
I prefer to stay in.
I don't know how to feel, personally. Everybody knows how I feel about Billie Eilish. One, I just want you both to look yourself, like tonight, take some time, look yourselves in the mirror and be like, I put Billie Eilish, Bury a Friend at 77, and I picked Clear as Blue at 68. And I let all these other songs before that look up. These people are rolling in their effing grave. Are you... the artists that you've had, the who's who of who you've listed, and you said, you know what, 77 is Billie Eilish, and you should be appalled. You should be appalled. I didn't like either song. Listen, this is going to sound like the most sacrilegious thing I've ever. Like, people will be very upset with me if they listen to this episode, and I'm okay with that. But Clear as Blue, the vibe, like hearing it live and stuff, the build and stuff, like that sounds cool. Like, listen, I was young. We all listened to Sandstorm in a club. It was the greatest time of my life.
Sandstorm?
Yes, but overall, it stays where it's at. Doesn't go any higher, doesn't go any lower. I did not get any like emotions from the song. Billie Eilish, meh. I've said this before. She's a one-trick pony that gets very popular on what she does, and that is what it is. With that being said, of the songs listed so far of Billie Eilish's, this is the one I could tolerate the most. So Billie Eilish moves on to higher up.
Okay.
That's just,
All right.
if it was against anything else, real good shot of like
When you said club music, Cinema by I believe it's Benny Benassi came up, and I think it's like featuring Skrillex. Oh man,
dude,
what a
nothing.
time.
If you start the
2011.
beginning of Sandstorm, like my arm like starts pumping
So,
without even knowing what's going on. Just
I almost put it on my list. I'm not gonna lie.
So the trainer that ran my boxing class we used to have to skip rope to that song, the entirety of it.
oh
Yeah, so I have a different
Wait,
appreciation for that song.
isn't that like an 8 or 9 minute piece?
No, it's 4 minutes.
Oh, okay.
but it feels 9 minutes.
Yeah,
You're like you think
you're,
it's
you're,
finally
you're
hit
waiting
its
for the
top,
first
and it
ending,
doesn't.
then the second ending, and then the third. You're like, finally.
All right. Moving on to number 278 and 277. This is going to be a lot more difficult, I think, for Cody. More Than a Feeling by Boston versus Rock With You by Michael Jackson.
Oh, my dad
Brooklyn.
jeans are getting tight.
Yeah. So this is off of an incredible Michael Jackson album, off the Wall. This is just smooth with like the bass line, the strings in this, how he opens the song, like "Girl, close your eyes, let the rhythm get into you." I'll fully admit something. The first lap dance I ever had from a stripper was to this song, so that is just part of my memory for it. It's
I'm
a great
uncomfortable.
song.
My parent did not sign a permission slip for this. I promise you.
Well, I know what clip we're using for this episode.
My dad jeans definitely just got very untight. Getting fast.
Keep going, Brooklyn.
Yeah. So like,
Tell
yeah,
us
the
more
song
about
as
this
well.
experience.
Oh no, like
We know why I made your list, so that's fair.
This would have been better at 69, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I missed an opportunity there. But no, if we get into like the instrumental piece kind of in between where they bring in like I think it's like a marimba or like it's some percussive instrument. And then it goes into that key change and it just hits on another level. I just think the rhythm that he has within the verses is also great. I think this matchup is I think I'm the heavy favorite here.
So More Than a Feeling by Boston is one of the great rock anthems of all time, let alone the 70s. It is just a emotional, epic piece about hearing a song and flashing back to the love of your life just walking away and you just kind of letting them and just the regret. It is a real tight piece. The hand claps in this add so much texture to the instrumentation. It just adds like this atmosphere of we've all kind of had this moment in our lives and we're just banding together over it. The guitar in this is one of the most iconic and legendary guitar lines. That power chord is so effing good. It is just a rock anthem that just hits you emotionally. Rock With You by Michael Jackson is a great song. However, when it comes to a bunch of other pop songs that we've talked about, it does kind of tend to get static after a while. Not to say that it's not a great song and doesn't deserve to be on the list. I just think that I picked the better song in this fight. You know how to play this, motherfucker.
I just don't get why that intro is top 500 worthy. We've already talked about the best Boston song in foreplay/long time. That clapping thing that you're talking about is not exclusive to More Than a Feeling. That clapping is also takes part in Long Time, and they do a good job of it. I think that this style is done better by AC/DC. I'll double down again on the song choice. I think that having this higher over that is already kind of bonkers. I think that my song is a surprisingly more full sound song as opposed to yours, because yours is already trying to go for that. It's already going for like the arena rock kind of style. I just think mine is a little more finessed in some elements, where yours is just kind of like it's going more for the feel as opposed to the technique.
I will say that this is probably the epitome of arena rock, whereas your song kind of falls into place with other pop songs that Michael Jackson has done. It's not the epitome of pop, or not even disco pop. Okay. But let's head over to Cody, see who gets this round.
Okay, so I don't know if everybody else, if you have a relationship with your dad, if you know like an uncle or something like that, there's a certain moment that your person's out by the grill and this song comes on and like the flames just get a little bit bigger on the grill when they're, and that's More Than a Feeling for that. Okay. Like the dad's fully in effect when that song starts happening. He's like, oh shit, turn that up. And he's also turning the grill up. So now you're eating some burnt chicken, like you know it's happening, but the song played. So that's good.
Really? We're bringing up burnt chicken? That's what like, we're putting that to More Than a Feeling. Like this shouldn't even be on the list.
Hold on. We're talking about a moment here. I need you to be patient. I need you to just sit there and be calm. Okay. Listen. Rock With You, arguably one of Michael's greatest songs that is completely underappreciated and if I gave a common person, name 20 songs for Michael Jackson, there's a good shot that this song does not pop up on the general public, but it's so good. So Rock With You is the clear choice, even though my dad, like, I want to go with More Than a Feeling because I'm getting more and more into those like jean shorts, tight shirt and a fanny pack, but it ain't there yet. So
is that at the $200 Patreon level?
Oh, it's getting close. If you get that, I might put some white socks on the white socks with those white loafers, just like bounced like tennis shoes, like high Skechers. Yeah.
You have officially lost your right to wear your Kiss the Cook apron. I swear to God.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. See if I can make up some ground here. I don't know.
You're in the hole of this episode 02 right now.
Yeah, that's not great.
And we all know what's coming. And we all know what's coming. The audience doesn't know what's coming, but we know what's coming.
We know what's all coming. I bet the audience can guess at this point. All right, moving on to number 276 and 275. Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House versus Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners. I already see the... All right, just going to make that mark. So, Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House. I think that this is a perfect song. I think that it has the best qualities of Sophistopop, where it's light, it's jangly, but it's kind of epic in its slight jangliness. It is just a beautiful melody. Like the vocal melody in this song is so good. There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. And the imagery in this song, I think, is just really, really well done. And it's just a beautiful piece of, hey, let's be strong together. Don't dream it's over. It's just this great piece that is supposed to be this grandiose statement to, a loved one or friend, or just like, it is just a beautiful piece.
So I would like to present to the audience and the People's Champion an absolute moment in the timeline of us revealing our songs. When we got to this section, I thought for sure that Andrew and I both have Come On Eileen, because we have both talked about how great that song is, how great the strings are in it, how the banjo is in it, how you get into the bridge, Come On Eileen, Arurae, and then they get faster and faster and faster, and it gets into a chaos. And then you go into the, like, even the chorus itself, it's one of the most sing-along-esque choruses. Like, getting to hear this in a dance, it's great, because you're just like, you have your hands in the air and you're like waving them like they just don't care, to sound cliche. With Don't Dream It's Over, I agree with you that the melody is great, the guitar work is good, I like the rhythm and the tempo of it. I think it's Achilles' heel, though, is that keyboard solo. I think that's done better in Whiter Shade of Pale, and I think I'm surprised that, like, I feel like those. Oh no, wait, yeah, I feel like it's better in Whiter Shade of Pale.
First of all, I will say I love A Whiter Shade of Pale, and I will admit that the keyboard line in that is better. I also think I may have had A Whiter Shade of Pale higher than this song on my list, though.
Here's
the thing, though. I can't say anything bad about Come On Eileen. It is a banger of a song, even though I'm not putting my hands in the air and waving them like I just don't care to this song, as you so put it.
I swear it wasn't me.
It is a lot of fun, and it is a very well-produced song with a very catchy chorus. For some reason, it just didn't make my 500. That's all.
I would like to present one last piece of evidence for this case. In the movie Tommy Boy, the song after that is used, after Superstar by Karen and the Carpenters, it is Come On Eileen by Dexys Midnight Runners. So it gets the Tommy Boy.
Yeah, but do you have a clip? Do you have a clip?
No, I don't.
There. Cody, put me out of my misery.
Okay, real quick question. I just need, this is for future reference. I'm having trouble remembering. Brooklyn, what was the female artist that Barr threw some unnecessary jabs at?
Donna Summer.
Donna Summer. I was just making sure we're on the same page with that. Okay, I'm trying to load up a bullet. Okay. Anyways, so there's a few songs that happened. And so when one of your guys' songs come up, I said, what are we, in 8th grade? Like, Come On Eileen, like, of 80s music, I think we all, like, it's like a dad or somebody showed us Come On Eileen, and it's stuck forever. It's overplayed to this point. I really don't enjoy it as much as I used to. I am going with Don't Dream It's Over. That middle, like, I just am in love with. I just think it's beautiful. But here's the thing. You would have almost won. It was a 51-49, but there has been a Halloween costume trend that's coming around for some people that for Come On Eileen, and it's one of the most disgusting costumes ever. It was also shared in our 500 take. So with that being said, I will not support that any further, and I'm moving it on. So.
Ew. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, I do have a question.
Yes.
When I announce a veto, do you get to talk about your thing and then I veto it after? I veto before you even get to talk about it?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, just trying to figure it out.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I got at least
one. Nothing's happening tonight. We don't know, but you know.
No, nothing. Nothing at all. No. Even though I already put something down later in the banners. All right.
Oh.
So let's move on to the songs that are going to be 274 and 273 on this
You also
list.
said that was a perfect song and it was 65. That was what the fuck, Brooklyn? Okay.
Starman by David Bowie versus Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. Brooklyn, you were starting us off this time.
Okay, as we try a third different lighting setting. Fuck the summer. This
you look like you're in the Blue Man group.
Yeah, it's rough. This song is the perfect song to play in like late September, early October at like 5 o'clock, like literally the golden hour. I think the guitar work in this is very like it has like a strain to it. Like you hear like the notes that kind of make it stand out. And then you just hear about that drum come in, and then her intro, like All That I Know, caught me at the right time. And I think the chorus in this is so cool with like how the steel guitar comes in, how she hits like the color of my sky, and then like how she kind of floats and the like I know everything's gonna be all right. I love a guitar that has like nylon strings, and you really get to hear that in the bridge. And I just think Casey Musgraves is like one of the all-time country greats that we need to talk
about. With Starman by David Bowie, this is kind of like his peak when it comes to glam rock. This is when a lot of his experimentation stuff kind of actually like blends together really well. His voice is just really great on this song. He like it kind of really shows the whole dynamic range of his voice that he has. And I just love the little like almost like Morse code kind of guitar as it bleeds into the chorus. That soaring, epic, beautiful chorus. It's just a really great glam rock piece. It's probably the epitome of glam rock, or at least the Mount Rushmore of it. Whereas with Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves, look, no disrespect to Miss Musgraves. I love Miss Musgraves. She's fantastic. Her first 3 albums, dynamite. It's not even the best song on that album, to be, in my opinion. I think that's Rainbow.
Yeah.
And I do like this song a lot. It's just really high. So I don't really have too much bad to say about it. I just think that it is the wrong song on this album or her entire discography. And I just think it's too high.
Okay. My only gripe with Starman is that I think it's almost like a reverse Smiths, where I think David is doing a really good job. I think the band behind him is not as great. There's elements of this that sound a little unfinished, like the guitar. I feel like for David standards could be a little bit cleaner. But otherwise else, like it's fine. Like I haven't had the time to really kind of like digest and really kind of be like, oh, like this if it's in this spot in David Bowie's discography.
I mean, he's got a huge discography, so like,
yeah. But like I like it's also Cody, and we already know how he feels about David Bowie. So
yeah, calling him the Wes Anderson of rock and roll. I think we've kept this one pretty simple, to be honest. I think we should just go to Cody.
You're stuck. Just suck. Okay. Like the stop, like that. I know, like it's very popular. I'm cool with it. Like that's fine. I just don't think like I'm nothing wrong with Casey Musgraves like at all. But like, does she deserve a place on here after like if there isn't some other artist from like the same thing? I don't know. Like, has time sorted out if Casey's like going to have like that staying power? I don't know. I don't mean to be disrespectful to her. I think she's a good singer. Like I think her music's fine, but I just think there's some powerhouses that she would also, I would say, that were better than her.
So if I may object to this,
you can't. Sorry,
well, I mean, like it's no more additional information that we've already revealed. That artist that you're thinking of definitely appears later.
I don't know if you know who I'm thinking of.
Okay,
you can send me a message of the person. Let's see if we agree.
But like you're talking same generation, like they came up around the same time.
No, I think he's talking about.
I'm talking about older generations influencing Casey. If they're missing, that's a question.
Okay. Cody,
I think I have a good amount of them. I don't think there's one definitive like one personally.
Yeah.
That's just my take. Okay, I'm gonna go Starman. I think it's more iconic of the time, and I think I enjoy like that beat. I think Golden Hour's fine. I just don't know if after doing the show if I'd ever listen to Golden Hour again, personally.
Okay. So
And I'm always working till 5, so like Golden, like I can't listen. You just pissed me off.
But think about that on the drive home, though.
I'm not there yet. I'm waiting. I'm walking out. I can't. I'm not gonna pop on Casey Musgrave when I'm walking out. I'm gonna pop out like take this job and shove it. Okay. Well, yeah.
all right, so we'll move on to 272 and 271. Songs being "Born to Run" by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band versus "Sissy Strut" by the Meters. "Born to Run" by Bruce Springsteen, America. The energy in this song from the first second is incredible. This is one of the ultimate driving songs. If you were on the freeway and you were driving at like 65 miles an hour, the windows down, this is one of the songs that I would imagine that you're listening to. Bruce sounds incredible on this. It's one of his best vocal performances. Clarence Clemens' saxophone is so goddamn good. Him and Max Weinberg on drums, the two of them on this song are fucking fantastic. It is just a fantastic song about escaping the doldrum town that you're from and just hitting the road and just escaping to freedom. It is so well written. The imagery that the lyrics in this song create, oh my gosh, incredible stuff.
So I understand why this may not be a Cody song. Instrumental songs are can be a hard sell, but I really think that this is the perfect song for like you're on a patio at a restaurant with friends and there's a band playing and it's like, oh, we're gonna throw on Sissy Strut. Like this puts a smile on your face. How the bass and the drum kit are in unison at times, and just how there's like how the guitar layering it comes in because you have like that main lick, and then you just have that little like kiss at the end with the like the 4 chords or whatever. I think it has a nice sustainable beat to it that that hasn't aged at all. Whereas with Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen, my biggest problem with this song in particular, I don't think that Bruce believes what he's actually singing. His delivery comes off as kind of like disingenuous or like I don't like, especially when you get to like the Highways Jam with Broken Heroes on a last chance power drive, and just like how he's just like, I feel he's just adding like a yell for the sake of adding a yell. I don't really like get behind his story.
First of all, the part where he's belting his motherfucking ass off, I can't believe you. I think you're mistaking that for being theatrical, and I think you can be both theatrical and genuine at the same time. Look, Freddie Mercury does it. It's just in a different register in a different way.
Meatloaf, I think, is the best example of that.
Meatloaf is also a great example of that, but they're also tenors, whereas Bruce is like a baritone at most.
Yeah.
Whereas with Sissy Strut, I will say, this is some of the best production I've heard. Like, it sounds really nice. The problem I have with Sissy Strut is that it's almost the exact same thing throughout the entirety of the song, and there's no little additions or change-ups to keep me interested. Like, there's no extra little bit of ear candy just to keep me going and listening to the song further and not just having it drone out in the background. Sounds great. Production's fantastic. That guitar lick is really cool. It just doesn't keep my attention.
I could get that where it feels kind of like where it has almost like the next episode syndrome, where it's just like the loop, and then they for the second half they just kind of replay that. But yeah, I don't really have anything much else to add.
Let's go to Cody then.
This is tough. You're saying like this is like bad, like vocally and stuff like that. I believe like he's got mush mouth in this entire thing. Like he's like, like I get it. Like he's going like that's America right there. I don't.
Why
know
do you think we pronounce it Murica?
I don't know if I can get behind that he doesn't believe what he is saying. But he's definitely like getting it. It's just going against a hard thing. I think if Brooklyn's other picks, like different thing, it could take down Born Around Here. But I didn't hate the song. I actually enjoyed it for the most part. But like, it's background music for me, and I think that's fine. I just don't know if it can be like, overrun America. 270, 400. I don't know how many years we've been around, but we've been around.
Why did we have to record this like so close to 4th of July?
Amen.
Fuck.
I literally play a Formula One game and it's all European circuits and stuff, and I created an American flag car that I'm running through the streets of Barcelona. Let's go.
Like the Blue Jays uniforms looked bad enough as it is.
Oh, those were terrible. You're playing the Red Sox and you wear red. What are we doing? Crazy.
All right. With that baseball talk, by the way, tune into Over the Wall next episode that they put out. You're going on to number 270 and 269. Nice. Songs will be We Can Work It Out by the Beatles versus Freedom 90 by George Michael. Brooklyn is going to start us off with this one.
Okay. So yeah, I love so many different elements of the song. I think there's a lot to cling on to. You can ride on like the piano of this. I think that's kind of fun time. You can ride on the guitar. I think the guitar is most beneficial on re-listen because you can really pick up all the technique like this. I think there's a lot of intricate sound kind of rhythm going on there. And then, yeah, as a queer person, this is a great song to help you realize, like, help you come out of the closet. Yeah, I just think like you get into like the pre-chorus of like, it's like, I think there's something you should know. I think it's time I told you so. There's something deep inside of me. And then take back your picture in the frame. Sometimes the clothes do not make the man. All we have to do now is take these lies and make them true. I think that line resonates especially. And then just like that release you feel like in the last line of like freedom. And that's kind of how it feels. Yeah. Uh-oh. You're muted, and so is.
Oh.
I thought I was talking fully, but that was my bad. I said he is frozen.
Yeah, well, I'm back now.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
Hey.
So good timing. We Can Work It Out by the Beatles. I love the tarantella feel of this song. That accordion really adds so much beautiful texture to this song. And honestly, it's one of my favorite melodies that Paul and John have ever created. Paul doing the verses and John having done the life is very short and there's no time for fussing and fighting. Gonna stop here for copyright stuff. But I think this song is the perfect example of how well Paul and John worked as a songwriting duo, because these two bits, other people made them, they probably wouldn't work as well. And I think that they just flow together seamlessly to create this unique sound that is not very common, but still melodically gorgeous. So
I did the deep dive into the lyrics of this because I heard something and We Can Work It Out, and I was like, wait a minute here, let's look at it. This song is a tad misogynistic. It's a little bit of like tell her about it vibes, and the lines in particular of so I'll ask you once again, try to see it my way. Only time will tell if I am right or I am wrong. While you see it your way, there's a chance that we may fall apart before too long. I don't know if it's age the greatest. I mean, there's obviously the cover by Stevie Wonder that we can also talk about. I do think though that this does like musically, this is absolutely an Andrew song because it has the four toms and the snare. Like you have that nice, like Ringo-esque beat. But yeah, I think that's where it falls flat. And I think that's where I think that's where my song wins in the matchup.
I think that line is it kind of gives you a clear picture of it's someone who is really quick to throw away their relationship and then being like, are you sure about this? Like, think about it my way. And like, this is a beautiful relationship that we can keep going. You're just really being quick to throw it away. With Freedom 90, I really dig this song a lot. I think, and I do believe that it deserves a spot on this list. I will say though, I think the main problem with this song is that it just kind of overstays its welcome by a little bit. It hits like the 4-minute mark and it kind of just meanders a little bit while still sounding fantastic. I think that's my only problem with this song.
I think that's where the bridge kind of comes into play. It looks like the road to heaven, but it feels like the road to hell. When I knew which side my bread was buttered, I took the knife as well. I think that's a really cool line. But I'm curious to hear where Cody sits on this.
Mm-hmm.
One, I have a message in my DMs that is very disrespectful, and now I have to change course. I will announce that later.
God. Oh God.
There's a redhead that should be very upset. Anyways, so Beatles, we can all agree, most overrated band of all time, right? We can agree with that. Well, greatest band of all time, you're bound to get overrated. Like that's just
fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's what I'm saying. Like
everybody has the.
They're not going to appeal to everybody, but what they did changed music forever, and they have bangers on top of bangers. One, I don't know if we can work it out, is into the list of stuff. And I have been on the record, I think, on the show, but there's another person that does a few Beatles song covers that is better than the Beatles. But what I will say is I was looking at the song Freedom, and I was like, what the fuck, Freedom? I'm trying to pinpoint it. I was like, is this the Freedom? Freedom? And I play, I'm like, fuck yeah. Let's go. Like, had a blast. Doesn't have the same meaning for me because obviously, but
yeah, I imagine. Yeah, it's like, hey, I can relate to that.
Yeah, couldn't relate, but damn, when it gets to the Freedom, I'm drawn. That's a banger. That song, fire. And you said 6 minutes. Give me 10 minutes of that song. Like I'm game. Like every time he gets and his voice is so like smooth in every delivery he does. Is just like. When he's like, right now, down. I'm like, let's go. That's a great song.
I will say right now, George Michael is potentially a top 20 vocalist of all time, if not top 10.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt in my mind about that.
Also had one of the hardest
nose dives?
post came out. If George Michael was around today, icon. Like back then, hated, brutal, like discriminated against, crazy. Like his life would be completely different than it would be right now. It's crazy, but he was great. He was great.
Yep. Much respect to the great George Michael. Moving on to number 268 and 267. Who Will Stop the Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival versus Mrs. Robinson by Simon.
Oh my God!
Even I don't like this matchup.
Like at the end of the day, I don't care. Like where it is. Like this is just okay. Go ahead and talk. Tell me why one should be higher than the other. I'm curious.
Who Will Stop the Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival is just a beautiful sounding piece. That guitar line is just it resonates with me so much. The harmonies on this song are incredible. And considering some of the vocal prowess of some of the other band members, that says a lot. And you kind of just this is a song where John Fogerty's inflection really heightens the atmosphere of it because his harsh twang really does create this heart-wrenching, emotionality behind the lyrics. It is just a beautiful piece, kind of heartbreaking, and it's just expertly made.
But Andrew, John Fogerty is from California. He's just making up that voice. Point me. All right.
Not the point.
This is Robinson. I think that this is one of the greatest intros ever. The chord pattern in this is unreal, and just how quick it is. The harmonies in the verses, like get into the sitting on a sofa on a Sunday afternoon, going to the candidates debate, and then you have it's oddly majestic and of when you get to Where Have You Gone, Joe DiMaggio, A Nation Turns Its Lonely Eyes to You. This song also, I think, how it stands out from everything else is that when I tune my guitar, I tune it to a certain hertz so that it sounds like this, like what is consistently known as EADGBE. But with this song, and there's only one other song that I know of that does this, it tunes it to a half step, so you're getting almost into a microtone, which is deep iceberg music theory stuff. But it's almost sits halfway in between a note. Because there'll be times where I hear the song and it's oh, it's in this key. And it's no, it's a half step down. And it's up. But I think that's where it makes it kind of pop. The other song that does this is Inside Out by the Traveling Wilburys. But yeah, with Who Will Stop the Rain, in terms of Creedence Clearwater Revival, they have an option of going either simple with perfect execution or high risk, high reward stuff, which was with I Heard It Through the Grapevine, because that could have been a bum. Or you have very simple songs like Have You Ever Seen the Rain, which I think is flawless. This kind of fits in the middle. I think the guitar work in this it's trying to do a little bit, but not enough.
I think the guitar is one of those things where its simplicity heightens the atmosphere of the song, because it creates this melancholic feel, but it has such a warm tone to it that it creates this beautiful balance of the two. Mrs. Robinson's fun. It's a very fun song. I love this song a lot. It's arguably, I think, the first Simon and Garfunkel song I ever fell in love with. So I don't want to say too much bad about it. It's just that I kind of feel that Simon and Garfunkel were we got to make this song for this movie. Let's write this down and do it real quick. It kind of just feels a little bit incomplete. It feels like it could have been done. It could have you could have pulled more out of it to me.
So I'm going to push back immediately on that, because this song was not written for that movie. This was already about Mrs. Eleanor Roosevelt, about coming out. Yeah. I guess that's it really. But okay. it was a banger. So all the story, I guess that's why they reference sitting on a sofa on a Sunday afternoon going to the candidates debate. So I guess that's I'm not an American history major, but whoever Roosevelt would have been debating at that time.
Probably he's the only president to have 4 terms, so it could have been a bunch of people that they're referencing. Okay. But so I did not know that. That is my fault. I'm not a genius, people. I don't know everything. Yeah. So we'll send it over to Cody.
I was about to respond too, so I'm glad Brooklyn stepped in, and it's all right. You were wrong. It's not a big deal. It was just waiting for Shaq did the dunk and then the push. Like he knew he was ready to just go up and put it right on the ass. This is a tough choice. I will say like Credence is like it's hard to choose like favorite band, but like it's very up there. Like I could listen to them all day long if that was the only soundtrack. Like if that band was the only band I got to listen to, I'd be okay with it. But that being said, Mrs. Robinson, like that, it's unfair because it has a tie-in to like one of my favorite movies of all time. Like it's hard to disconnect, and that's not saying much, but I have to go with Mrs. Robinson because I don't think Who Will Stop the Rain is like in my top 5 of CCR, which is fine because they have a ton, but it's just not mine. So, but no, it both deserve the list. They both could have shared the spot. So, like,
well, let's see how you feel about this next matchup.
oh,
That's actually a pretty good one. Number 266 and 265. Yes. Take Me Home, Country Roads by John Denver versus What I Say, Parts 1 and 2 by Ray Charles.
Just an easy one. Fair enough.
Yeah. Brooklyn, Europe.
I'll open with this. I have nothing bad to say about "Take Me Home, Country Roads." I think it's also a great song. In terms of What Did I Say, Parts 1 and 2, I mentioned it. I think the last time that we talked about it, I think the drum work in this is just at perfection. Like how he hits the little triplets on the splash cymbal, and you can hear each little one, and like. It's blues. Like it's if you've heard a blues riff before, it's absolutely a blues riff. But I think this is just flawless execution. And then you get the back and forth of like Ray and the singers, and then how they're able to kind of play with the tempo, and then they just like they kick it back up again, and it's just it's a great song. It's been talked about to death, but it's kind of a freezing cold take. But this is going to stay on the list. I don't think this one will ever come off.
Take Me Home, Country Roads, John Denver. There is just a beautiful warmth to this song. There is such comfort in this. And I think it is John Denver's voice, which just sounds so good on this. Especially on that chorus where he just like draws out the melody and it's just so perfect. And I think the other thing is the guitar, like that plucking guitar at the beginning, and the imagery of the lyrics.
So that guitar, I believe, is a 12-string in particular. And it's cool how it's set up because it's the regular like 6-string guitar, but then each one has like the octave above it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think that was the perfect choice. And as I was saying, the imagery of the lyrics, just almost heaven, West Virginia. Like the imagery it creates for me personally is almost like a helicopter tracking shot over like the West Virginia forests and mountains. It is just a beautiful song. With What I Say, Parts 1 and 2, I dig this song a lot. I think my main problem is part 1 I think is just so much stronger than part 2 that once we get to part 2, I don't want to say I don't appreciate it as much. It's just not bringing the same energy that I think part 1 brings. And I think if you flipped them where part 2 is part 1 and part 1 is part 2, it might work better, but it's still a fantastic song.
You added something to the test that we didn't get to study for. I don't like this. I don't get that at all because I think it has the gradual build. It has the keys, and then it has them like kind of cutting out, and they're like, well, like, well, do we finish and then or don't we? It's like, all right, we'll go one more time. So to swap the two, I think. I'm not sure where that's coming from.
I think I worded what I was trying to say wrong.
Yeah. My not necessarily my gripe with Take Me Home, Country Roads, but my rant, I guess, with how society kind of handled it, because it's like it's cooled off since, but there was a time where this was almost on wagon wheel levels of overplayed. Like it became a meme. Like this is popular to use on the TikToks, and I hate that because it's just so pretty. Like when you get into the like Country Road, Take Me Home to the Place I Belong. Like every note that they hit in that harmony is just so great. Yeah.
Let's just head over to Cody.
So something happened in 2005. It's called the movie Ray came out, and I became like an uber Ray Charles like nut. Listen to him all the time. I think he's absolutely incredible. Let's be fair. Part one and part two, I get it. The total song's like 4 minutes. Like, let's go. Like, there's not a drastic difference. Like, I know it's part one and part two, but overall, like, they play cohesively together. I consider it like one song just with that title. I'm with Brooklyn though. Like, Take Me Home, Country Road was getting close to like overplay. Like, how do we feature this in everything? But it doesn't stop its power of that song. Like, I think like I'm from like I live in Missouri, so like I live in like take back roads to work, and like this song coming up on a back road is just like next level. Like if you drive like over like a mountain, like where your mountains are, or like a beautiful scenery, and this song's playing, it's like it adds so much to everything. So it's like, and America gets a lot of crap, but like how beautiful the country is at times, like it is like there's some great spots to look at. So like I have to go with that one, but it was really close with what you say. I think definitely deserves a spot on the list. But it's just like
Now,
Take Me Home is like it's hard. If I didn't listen, if I didn't grow up in America, especially, I don't know if Take Me Home Country Road has the same effect.
now I'm trying to think. Okay, so the Mount Rushmore, I guess, of like songs for the sun to come up to. This song, I Gotta Name Jim Croce. Here comes the sun, the Beatles, and then Harvest Moon, Neil Young. Those are the four.
I can't argue with that.
I'm not
That's
a big
good.
Neil Young guy, but I can probably agree with you.
Oh, nah, man, you need to do a deep dive on Neil Young. He has some.
Do I?
You do not want Cody to do a deep dive on Neil Young.
Cowgirl in the Sand and Down by the River in particular.
Yeah, I once he gets to After the Gold Rush, I feel like he's gonna be like, I'm out.
But like that isn't his entire sound though. Like he had,
I know,
like, he's
but, like-
he's not as much as David Bowie. But
Side tangent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two people on YLS for artists and decided to pick Billy Joel and put him on the list, and they both decided that New York State of Mind was the one song to represent Billy Joel. Is that ludicrous or just like makes sense?
I believe my my response in the comment section was Vienna is right there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Okay, moving on to number 264.
Oh, we're getting close.
We're getting close. 264 and 263. Black by Pearl Jam versus You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
Yes, I get to close the show.
Damn it! Okay. Well, I'm going first on this one. Black by Pearl Jam. I had heard of its reputation as being one of the greatest songs of all time, and I listened to it, and I think the first time I listened to it, I didn't quite get it. However, I think this song is incredible. I think it is just an emotional gut punch of a song, both lyrically and instrumentally. Just the imagery that Eddie Vedder writes this song with is just, you feel like you're being swallowed in darkness at some points. And then right before the ending, you get the lines about, I hope you have a better life. I hope you have everything that you want. I just wish it was with me. So it creates this beautiful feeling of, it's the perfect way to end the lyrics because you completely sympathize with him. Because we've all had that one person where we're like, I know I was the wrong person for you, but it fucking hurts that I was the wrong person because you're great. And just the way that the instrumentation just like builds and crescendos into this instrumental piece that ends it with just like this echoing, like doo doo. Like it's gonna sound stupid, but like it really works well. Of the doo 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 doo, and that's just like building and swirling, creating this emotional wreck of a rock song. It is an incredible piece.
Yeah, again, I don't really have anything bad to say about Black. Whereas with You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, I think that this is an incredible production in terms of like the arrangement, like how the drums come in, and then you have like these little like moments where like the strings come in for a second and like the backup vocals, I think just gives it this little lift at times, and then you get into the chorus and it's like watching a feather fall. Like, you make me feel like a natural woman, and I just think it like lands that ending. My take on this song is I would love to hear like a slight lyric change, because I think like a young Elton John would have killed this song. I feel like this is kind of like in that same sort of style. My favorite thing about Black by Pearl Jam is that I think this is the song that kind of turned me over into being like, okay, Pearl Jam is an all-time great band. Nazario does have a point here. Eddie Vedder's performance in this is great. I think the thing in the production that I really enjoy is that in the lines of the verse, pretty well every time that Eddie Vedder goes down, the bass line comes up. So it kind of leaves you in this trance throughout it. And I think that's one of the key elements of the song.
I'm not going to say anything bad about You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, because I do think it's a great song. I had considered putting it on my list.
Good idea.
Yeah, I had considered it putting on my list. It just didn't get there for me. And the one thing I will say that I think Black has the advantage on this song is just its emotional resonance. It's just a really powerful piece. Whereas You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, beautiful piece, but I just don't think it quite has that emotional punch that Black has.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Cool. I don't either. Let's go to Cody.
So not a shocker here from any regard. Like, that You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Like, Aretha Franklin is like arguably one of the best vocalists of all time.
Oh yeah.
I just find her music so like insane, and her lyrics in this thing is like so good. Like, my soul was in the lost and found. You came and claimed it. You're the key to my peace of mind. Like, I used to feel uninspired, and that's the movie. Like, this is not to tie back to a movie, but the movie Respect came out, and like Aretha has such an interesting like grow up story, and that was like such a cookie cutter version of Aretha's life. And you could have like went so far with it, and you just didn't, which is upsetting because you had like a perfect person to play her. So that was upsetting. I'm just not a Pearl Jam fan. Like, that range, like Radiohead, Pearl Jam, that era of music, just not my cup of tea. I like the song way more than I thought I would, but at the end of the day, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman is just insane.
I will say, Cody, I don't have a specific version of Black to recommend to you, but it is one of the more covered songs in music history. So you may find a version of this song that you will like better. Right. And let's
Vito.
In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel versus Peace on Earth.
At least let him announce the song.
Bing Crosby and David Bowie. Brooklyn, you get to talk first.
Double veto.
What?
It's a double veto. Both these songs are not making the list.
Holy shit!
Oh.
What the fuck?
Well, the reason that I had this. Okay, well, never mind. I guess.
No, because I get to choose what I do, so I get to pick and choose. So, and this is gonna like upset Brooklyn to like the nth degree. I have to find out something because I forgot about this one, so I do have to message real
Okay.
quick just to ask a question.
Cool. Brooklyn, give a little bit on your song while we're doing this. Just
I'll give a little bit on both because I think "In Your Eyes" is also a really cool song. I like the reggae influence that it obviously has. Like, that has a nice kind of sway and beat to it. "Peace on Earth" I think is just one of the 3 Christmas songs that kind of breaks the barrier of like not just being a good Christmas song, but an all-time great song. I think the mashup of Bing and David Bowie is really good in this. I just love the composition. I love the rounding nature of it. I think like it's the best mashup, I guess you would say. There isn't really other ones that kind of come to this caliber, and then you get into this big build of the bridge of like every child must be made aware. I think it's an all-time classic.
That was fine talking. I appreciate you all, but these songs will not make the list. Here we are. I have 5 going in to the last episode, the last combined list, and then the rest. I know what I've done, but I have to do this. So, "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel is going to be replaced by "Last Dance" by Donna Summers.
You know what? Guess what, Cody? I already had that primed.
Yeah. Okay. And what a fumble bag we did from the Christmas song. I can't even see Brooklyn's reaction, so this is making me very upset. But the Christmas, we are keeping it Christmas. We are replacing it. "Oh Holy Night" by the Canadian Tenors will be taking this spot. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hey.
Not the version that I would have picked, but okay.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's magic. It is absolute magic. Yes.
I do have to ask real fast.
Sure.
Which song, "Oh Holy Night" by the Canadian Tenors, or the Last
Donna
Dance?
Summers' "Last Dance" higher than
God damn it! I even lose on the veto.
Got it.
I don't think that I don't think that helps anybody in that case. That doesn't give a point. That eliminates points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just do some math here, and then we'll go over the combined lists of. And then, so that's going to be. Okay. So let's go over the list that we have so far right now. Number 280 is "Clearest Blue" by Churches. Number 279, "Bury a Friend" by Billie Eilish.
I buried both of you.
Number 278, "More Than a Feeling" by Boston. Number 277, "Rock With You" by Michael Jackson. Number 276, "Come On Eileen" by Dexy's Midnight Runners. Number 275, "Don't Dream It's Over" by Crowded House. 274, "Golden Hour" by Casey Musgraves. Number 273, "Starman" by David Bowie. 272, "Sissy Strut" by The Meters. 271, "Born to Run" by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. 270, "We Can Work It Out" by the Beatles. Number 269, "Freedom 90" by George Michael. Number 268, "Who Will Stop the Rain" by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Number 267, "Mrs. Robinson" by Simon and Garfunkel. Number 266, "What I Say" Parts 1 and 2 by Ray Charles. 265, "Take Me Home, Country Roads" by John Denver. Number 264, "Black" by Pearl Jam. Number 263, "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman" by Aretha Franklin. And then with the double veto, number 262, "Oh Holy Night" by the Canadian Tenors.
Beautiful.
And number 261, "Last Dance" by Donna Summer. And with that being said, Brooklyn gained some steam. So it is now 61 to 58. 1 point.
Is it only one?
He only got 1 point ahead of me.
Oh, I thought it was way higher because I know I started with 2, but yeah, that's crazy.
5 to 4.
In the CFL, I would have had to have missed the field goal, but get it into the stands.
If the veto would have counted, I would have. If those 2 songs would have stayed, I would have voted for Brooklyn. But
okay, well, you didn't.
Not the song that I'd expected you were vetoing today. I thought Billie Eilish and Churches was going to be a double veto.
No, it was close. It was close, but I was like, sometimes you gotta pick your fight. I wasn't gonna veto until I heard that song, and I was like, I'm such the Christmas guy too. So like, yeah, it was just. But yeah, great. But we'll find out. Are you sending now?
Yes. So, give me 1 second, and
Okay.
Cody, I am sending you the next
God.
episode's playlist.
I need to
30
buy some more
songs.
vetoes. God. Okay.
The end of the end of the separate lists will be on this next episode. Cody, I have sent the playlist to the room.
Oh, to the room. Gotcha. So
Let's get a live reaction.
I see somebody. I see someone's face, and I'm excited. But we'll find out. What didn't it load up? What are we doing here? Come on. No thanks. Come on. Okay, I'm here. Ooh. 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 Oh. Wow.
This is
Oh.
so many.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh wow. I really am curious if another version of that song is on this list, or is that the only one? Because that's
I think I know exactly which song.
That's a bold. Oh, this list might be my favorite list so far.
Ooh, interesting.
Ooh.
There are some certified Cody songs on this thing.
Beautiful.
I need to know if a veto is possible, because if that's the other version's not on I don't know what we're doing here. This is gonna be interesting. We'll talk after, but
yeah, we'll talk after. We'll
Yeah.
talk after. But with that being said, tune in next week for the final section of the separate lists, where we
we'll
will
get down to what number?
A supersized episode.
Yeah.
What?
We will be getting down to 251.
Okay.
So with that being said, that's Cody Newberry. That's Brooklyn Vale. I'm Andrew James Barr. Buy our shit. And for Off Our Stones subsidiary video store, keep on rocking.
Driving.